Yo, good evening, everybody. What's going on? Sorry, running a little bit late today. Apologies. In the house tonight, myself, Cases, Kofi, the brethren, the homie, Mr. Dan Mason,
I'm
and
here.
somebody I've known for a minute. And it's such a pleasure, and I'm excited for this young man to share his story. Well, not young anymore, anyways. To share his story. To share his story with us. Who we got setting the levels tonight? Please introduce yourself, sir.
Hey guys, how are you all? I'm Dane from the band Kill Your Kings. Yeah, I've
Wickedness.
known Kofi for a while. So yeah, as you said,
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. When we talked again recently, I was like, damn, it's fully pushing 20 years.
Oh, mate,
Fully,
absolutely.
yeah, it's fully pushing 20
Let me
years.
tell you a story. So we actually, so in terms of how I met sort of Kofi, we joined cadets around the same time. I was about 14 at the time.
Yeah,
And
Air Cadets, by the way, guys.
Air Cadets, yeah, not the other cadets, Air Cadets. And I think we were thrown into the deep end as well around that sort of time. Because as soon as we got to cadets, they took us to camping.
Epping Forest. It was Epping Forest.
With like the most rascal camping gear that you've ever found, you know.
But as you grow, you get to know how dead it was. What they set us up, they wanted us to die.
Yeah, so we literally were thrown into the deep end, properly cold, camping out in the woods. But no, it was a good experience back then. Yeah, ever since then we've been good mates, I guess. So
yeah, man, proper wicked. Dan, how you, man? Sorry, we're just off on a tangent now, but you're on mute. You muted yourself. Boy. There you go. Hello. We still can't hear you, bro. Bro, I can't hear you. He's talking, but I cannot hear him. I've unmuted him. Your headphones, G.
Unlock. But let him sort out his technical difficulties. And
yeah. It's strange because Dan. The thing is, I heard him a minute ago. I heard him a minute ago. Then he just cut out. Yo, I can't hear you. I'm gonna kick you out and jump back in. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's kick him out. Just jump back in. Kick from studio. Actually, I'm not gonna kick him. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties again. Dane.
Yeah, I can hear.
You can hear me. I still can't hear Dan. Can't unmute you guys because they choose to mute themselves. Yo, come out. I'm gonna kick you fully out this time. I'm gonna kick you fully out and just jump back in. So I heard you the first time. All right, let's kick him. All right, sorry, guys. So I mean, as when Dan joins back in, we'll pick up again. But generally, how you been, man? How you been? How's life?
No, life is good. I started a new chapter, man. So so yeah, I'm very, very, very excited. I'm really happy that some of the restrictions on us
are lifted today.
Yeah, so it's starting to feel a little more normal again. So actually, I moved to East London some time ago now, about 2 years ago. But now my office is down in Liverpool Street, so I sort of just walk home. So it's not too far. So I sort of just walk home. Do a 45-minute walk. So that's quite good. Get some fresh air. That's really good.
Nice and convenient. Dan, you with us, by the way? Yeah, you're still not with us. You're still not with us.
It wasn't meant to be, man.
No, it's crazy. I heard him. You might have to switch up his headphones. Might have to switch up his headphones and see what's going on. But no, that's convenient for you, man. I mean,
yeah, no, absolutely.
For real.
Am I being heard?
Oh, there we are.
Now, yeah.
It's some BS, man. Fuck's sake. Anyway, let's move on from that. All right.
I'm sorry,
Good
man.
evening, everyone. Good evening. It's all right. We're here.
How you keeping though, G?
Yeah, I'm all right. I went to gym today. Yes, I was back in there. It was nice. I'm not gonna lie. It was nice.
I mean, so many people. I mean, I woke up at 6:30 today. My gym's 24 hours. There was 70 people in the gym.
Yeah, I'm sure COVID's being spread live.
100%. 70 people. And here what I was gonna be there. I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I decided to sleep in. I was like, I mean, maybe one of them early ones. So I was like, yeah, 6 o'clock, 6:30. I checked it. 70 people. No thanks. I'm all right.
70. What type of gym is that?
It's a pure gym. It's a 24-hour pure gym, and the capacity is about 120. So they still have to apply some kind of COVID guideline. So realistically, it should be about half full, which it was, and that's its capacity currently. So I was like, you know what, they're full. Let's leave it. Any excuse, I guess.
Yeah, my gym's not letting in more than I think there's 25 people at a time. It's quite a big facility as well. It's got outdoor space too. So
where's your gym? East.
Yeah, it's just one of the better gyms in East London. But it's a good gym. You remember when we used to do athletics in Cadets?
Bro.
And we go to Mile End in the East.
Yeah, man, that track was wicked.
Yeah.
That Mile End track was actually wicked.
Yeah, so I use that one from time to time.
He hasn't clocked his music. Yo, man, that Luke Nino, what's good, bro? I've been here riding. What's good, bro? All right, cool. You know what? Let's get to it. The funny thing is, you two actually share similar stories, isn't it? Because you two are both initially born and raised in the Caribbean.
Oh yeah.
And then came here. So Dane is from Montserrat, and obviously you're from Jamaica.
The volcanic islands, mate.
Yeah, man.
Is there anyone left on Montserrat?
Oh, here we go. Bro, is that what we're doing? Man went straight for the jugular. Okay.
An early shots.
Man went in early doors, you know. Bro, okay. No, that's bad. No, we're doing all right down there. Trust me.
Yeah.
I mean, the St. Lucians, the St. Vincent people should probably worry because they're at the beginning.
Yeah, it's been pretty devastating recently.
Yeah, but we're doing pretty all right. We've been dealing with it for 15 years, so we're all right.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, in terms of me, at least you guys are leaving for natural disasters. A lot of people leave Jamaica for based on human causes. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Crying.
I mean, like when you live on an island, boy, like there's not a lot. Especially like if you're sort of like a creative or anyone in that kind of space, it's very difficult. Very difficult because like there's just not the same kind of opportunities as you would have like somewhere in the UK. So I think it makes sense when people want to dip from the islands, man, because
well, mate, the crown is it's the motherland, right? So why
not? Man, this is it. This is
the place as much as everyone else.
Yeah,
East Montserrat does.
Mate, listen, we're here. We're small, but I'm representing. That flag on my ones.
I mean, Jamaica is an interesting place. I love it, and I wish it was much better at the same time because there's so much potential, but we just kind of
the Caribbean as a region has a lot of potential, but
huge amounts. Yeah,
I just don't think it's ever going to get there because. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll say give it. Not my generation, not little man's generation, but maybe after him, there might be some change. Like
so 2 more gens.
2 more gens. You might start to see some change because like the world's a small place now because of the internet. So I think that has a huge factor to play in how things are going to pan out because too many guys down there doing all of the corrupt nonsense. It's the same stuff all the time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff you have to really think about what the problems are, right? So what are the problems? You've got crime, violence, systemic issues. from colonial times, all these type of different things. So it really takes a massive cultural shift to actually get to a particular point. So that's going to take a very, very long time unless people can realize where they are and says we need to change, right? So, and some of the islands are better than others, and and especially the larger islands, English-speaking islands, they have their own issues. Each have their own issue as well, like internal. But then there's still this cultural shift that needs to happen before any real change can take place, right? So it's just gonna, it's I don't know. You have to have hope that people will change, and they'll want better for themselves, right?
I tell you what, and I like that. I like that you've got that that hope there. But from my standpoint, at the moment, it's every man for themselves, and then it's every island for themselves. That's what we are right now. It's every man for themselves, and then after that, it's every island for themselves. And I'm like, if we actually decided to just unite and get one currency for starters, and there's a lot of things that could make it work, and then capitalize on a unit, like that unit moving forward, kick out some of I say foreigners very lightly. But kind of just try and shift. And what I mean by kicking out the foreigners, I mean by bringing the business that they bring back to the local people, like upskilling the people and allowing I'm not saying don't allow foreigners in, because that's just stupid, but I feel like we need to kind of because we're relying on too many of the big boys for the economy side of things and all that kind of stuff.
So. I hear your point, but I'm not so sure, man. And it's just this stuff is a lot. I'm a globalist at nature, by nature. I can't leave Jamaica as an immigrant, come here and then say, hey, let's kick out. I'm a globalist by nature. So when I think about economies and things like that, I think about open economies, right? So allow people to be able to have access and to resources within reason, clearly. But of course, don't leave the people within those particular countries behind.
And that's my point. That's my point exactly.
Often, especially in the Caribbean, often you have to, because you don't have access to the same level of resources that you would do in a major developed nation, and someone who's wealthy and a strong investor, good track record, that sort of stuff, and they want to invest in your country, then absolutely allow that. But then within a proper framework, so supported by strong laws and all these type of things that actually ensures that it doesn't foster the corruption and that sort of stuff. So you kind of want to. I strongly encourage sort of global trade. I think it's.
No, I mean, I agree. I do agree, but I just feel like there's certain levels of that stuff that needs to be brought back locally and be because my worry is that the small man always gets left behind.
I hear that.
That's in my head. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the small, because I've been the small man. You know what I mean? I have been the small man. My family have been the traders and the people that are trying to be out there doing this stuff. So we know what it feels like. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I'm looking at it from that point of view. I'm definitely a globalist as well. I'm from the standpoint of living in England, I'm a globalist. If I was to live back in the Caribbean, I'm going to be like, whoa. Let's really look at this and analyze who's coming in and who's going out and how this works for us locally before I make any huge decisions. Just saying, let everybody come through, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think definitely you can't. This is the issue with globalism. It's a blessing, but also a curse, because people go in and take investments, and then only so people make investments, but then only the very few sort of benefit from it, and they get richer, and the rich get richer. The poor doesn't really get much, and their situation hardly changes. And then but I think you can't. You can reform that whole system, but also globalism can also exploit countries that haven't got good systems of government. And that's some of the problems that we face. Like in Jamaica, for example, I mean, everyone talks about, there's a lot of, Chinese and American and all these, investors, they come in, but yet, why is Jamaica still in a desperate state? Even Jamaicans who are extremely rich. I think it's called. I can't remember the guy who owns sandals. I know he's done a lot of stuff for charity, but is there more that people like that could have done to support local people and local businesses? In the country. I'm really. You have to look it up. I can't remember the guy's name who actually owned sandals. He died recently. Something Butch. And I know he has supported many charities and things like that. But I'm thinking, if we had more people of that stature that really supported local communities, then sort of really help drive productivity and things like that within the. But also, you need education, man. And the Caribbean, often what happens is you get people who are highly educated, but as soon as they left university, guess where they go? To the US or to the UK or to Canada or to some other foreign country, and then you just have this void of like this education void, right? This massive brain drain of these countries. I mean, it happens all around the world. The same happens in Ghana, places like that. I saw some clips about this recently, but yeah, you have a massive sort of brain drain in the Caribbean. And a lot of the people that I know who are extremely smart people who used to live in Jamaica, they've all migrated. That are my age, they've all migrated abroad, and you can't have that, because if you're going to create a strong middle class, a strong economy, you need people.
What was the reason that you moved from Jamaica? Sorry. Huh? What was the reason that you moved from Jamaica to here, or was it?
Well,
mom and dad's decision, but
at that age, I can't really make the decision myself. Yeah, my mom, she decided that she wanted to move to a place where there was a bit more stability, I guess, but also financial opportunity. But also, most people in the Caribbean have links to the UK and anyway, right? You'll probably have family members and things like that. So, but my mom, in her case, she got married and she sort of moved to the UK with her husband, and then as a result, here I am, me and my brothers and sisters, and we took advantage of all the opportunities here. So I'm very proud of all of them,
You really did. Yo, there was one brother that you come to cadets with, yeah? I forgot my guy's name. He claimed to be 15. He was not 15, bro. He was different.
I think I don't want to start mentioning names. I'm not sure. Are you okay to mention names? Yeah, Shamari. He's my
That's it.
Good dude. He's excellent. He's doing really well, man.
Where is he now, sir?
Yeah, no, he's here, mate. He's here. He's got his own painting and decoration business. He's got his wife and kids. Doing well, man. I'm very proud of him. So, but yeah, I mean, I think I brought a whole bunch of people, to cadets, man, because something that I really enjoy.
You did, but I remember him in particular.
Yeah,
I remember him in particular because he come quite a bit, but he was yard. I remember he had the thickest accent, yeah. But no, it was just interesting, and I was just like, I always wondered what happened to him. I forgot his name, but please just remind me.
Shamari. Yeah, Shamari. Good dude. Dualistic. He's actually a musician as well, so obviously he's making DJ. Yeah.
Obviously, he man just all dip into the music, innit? Just sing all day long or something.
Yeah, actually, we used to be in a group. We used to have
both of you.
What did we call? I can't remember what we called it. It was nothing. This is back in those days when you have like shizzle. We're calling ourselves. But we had a little group, and we actually did a song. It's called "Sweet Happy Life," and we performed it at our school graduation as well. So it was pretty good. But
so you've been doing this for a minute then?
Nah, mate. I love music, man. Even if I can't, I can't. So back then, I couldn't sing. Right? You you mumble, but I would go to every like concert. I'd do a lot of music classes, sort of like vocal coaching, that sort of stuff. I'd join choirs and things like that. I was part of the Parchmore Gospel Choir for a while as well, and they were doing choir competitions and that sort of stuff. But I mean, I can't say I was a good singer back then. You know, even in cadets, I used to get these demos and CD that you run on the CD, tape, and then you
spin those.
Yeah, exactly, and you sort of record stuff. But I remember going into the first time I recorded some songs was I went to there's barber shop in Peckham, right? I was probably about 15 at this time. And I had this song that I'd written at school. I was basically following a mate. He was going to this barbershop, and then they were like, "We've got a studio upstairs." You know, these got multi-purpose barbershops, right? You know, you've got the barbershop downstairs, studio
upstairs, everything.
They were banging out tunes, but there were like a whole bunch of people that used to go through that studio unbeknownst to me. And that's when I actually heard about sort of Amy Winehouse, because those guys in the studio was actually sort of affiliated with Amy Winehouse. I remember Zullen as well, and his brother, who is Zullen is the backing singer for Amy Winehouse. I remember him. We had a brief exchange at one point. I remember his brother used to come through to that barbershop as well. But man, yeah. So I remember cutting a track, like a little demo back then, man. It was so good. I think I called the song was Sunshine in My Life or something like that. I think it was called.
Right, you were in love, bro.
Yeah, I was writing those tunes. No, it was cool. And when I came back and I played it on the cassette, obviously it was done on cassette tape, and I played it in the living room. Mom was like, "Yeah, that's good." My sister was like, "Oh, Dane, you started to sound like Mario." I was like, "Nah, don't sound like Mario." Like, not Mario Winans, but
You should let me that one.
Yeah. I was like, nah, but ever since I just absolutely loved it.
You've been doing it a minute though, but then it explains how, again, some of the people that you run with, Jason's, Ahmed's, Henry's. It didn't make sense how you guys kind of came across paths, and you guys have just obviously stayed in touch since.
Yeah, I mean, so Dre, for example, he and I, when we met, he had this group, Nate Forte, and we were all sort of, like I told you, I used to do a lot of anything to do with music, like music courses. I even skipped school when I was in like sixth form to like go and do these like music business courses in Brixton, like me and a couple of other guys. But yeah, so anything to do with music, we were there. So I remember there was a company called Urban Voice at the time. In Battersea, they were really strong in promoting like garage music and like local UK.
Because So Solid was out of Battersea, so that's why.
Yeah, and it was massive. So these guys were kind of funded by the council, I believe, or by the government. They were getting some government funds as well as private funds too. But there was strong. They had a couple of courses on that you could just take advantage of. It was free, and I was like, yeah, it was like 12-week course. And that's when, obviously, when I did it, it's a music business course, but also you can also do performances, and then you'll have vocal coaches coming in. But the whole premise of the whole course was to give everyone the different perspectives on sort of the different types of jobs within the music industry. So it's not just you've got like lawyers, you've got A&Rs, and all these different things. So it gives you like a full, a rounded view on what the music industry was. And we used to have specialists and experts from different music companies like Sony and that sort of stuff. They used to give you life coaching as well, which is amazing.
Wow. Do they still do this?
Yeah. I mean, loads of stuff, man. And it was in Battersea, and I was living in Battersea at the time. Yeah, so we used to, so that's where I met sort of Dre, and he had his group. I remember him and Marley and Roy. They came in, and they were properly established. I mean, I couldn't do anything like what they were doing. They're proper doing songs. And
them guys look slick, bro. You could tell they were American out.
Yeah, they were properly slick. Back then you had like the B2Ks, the ATLs. all these different bands,
yeah.
you know. So they would have easily fit into that, and they had some successes in the US and stuff. But yeah, I guess, and things just evolved since then, really. So, and we've been friends ever since, around since like 15 years, man. 15 years.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
That's wicked for real.
But music is not even done it. Oh, it's like that constant, isn't it?
Yeah, it always is. I mean, for me, I'm sure maybe I could speak for Dan. Music for me is everything. That's why I do this kind of stuff. Music is just, I do everything with music. I'm at work and it's dead quiet there. I'm the one who would just flick on my phone and say, "Yo, I'm playing Spotify." Was anybody? I don't care what it is. This is some music in it. This is put on something. Like I need music in my life.
Yeah, it's so important.
It's a factor of life which a lot of people overlook. Like I reckon if tomorrow,
what sort of music do you get into though? Is it
anything?
Yeah.
No, like I, honestly, it is so varied what I would listen to on a day-to-day basis. Literally, it does switch. But I think if somebody was to mute the world in terms of music, I think people would go mad. I think people would go madder than this lockdown. I guarantee it. Like in a quicker time, if music was to stop.
Mate, it's been around forever, and it's a great way to tell a story, really, and how people have communicated all throughout life, really, and civilization is through stories. Whether or not if you go to some, I love watching these like programs on like Discovery channels and National Geographic and things like that, and then they go to these far out places, right? So like Vanuatu or something like that, or like it's one of the islands in the Philippines. But you can always see these people when they greet outsiders. What do? They have some sort of song and dance.
Yeah, exactly.
Celebrate, right? And then they go and they probably have some local made alcoholic beverage afterwards. But song and dance. So music it transcends. It's just like Bob Marley says. It's just like that natural mystic, that vibration, man. That you get.
It's true. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
That song sends chills through my back, bro. That song's fire, bro. Like he was just connected to the music. He's one of them people that was just. I actually listened to one of his. I don't know if it's his offspring. I don't know how many kids he's got. I don't know. Listen, I've lost count of how many Marleys there is, but it was a Marley, and it's just like. These people, when they do the music thing, it's just different. Like it's like you can still feel the like some of him in the music,
like flowing through them.
Yeah. It's mad crazy, and I'm just like, dude died like what? 40?
No,
40 years
30
ago?
years ago. Yeah, 34 years ago. Something stupid like that. Let me see.
Yeah, 1980 should have been 41 years ago.
Yeah, I'm like, and he's to this day, his music still just resonates with so many people.
Yeah, I think late 1979 or in 1980 he died.
So mad, so crazy.
11th May 81. So it's literally 40 years, almost to the day.
Yeah, so there we go.
Not bad maths. I'm all right.
Yeah, but no, I mean, people like that. But actually, everyone talks about Bob Marley. But I think people are sleeping on Garnet Silk and the actual.
Oh yeah, but see, that's the thing.
Influence that he had on reggae music, but also just on. I mean, if you go to places in Africa like Gambia and places like that, mate, like they play Garnet Silk over and over and over again because Garnet Silk was a true, I mean. Okay, so Rastafarianism is obviously a mixture of Christianity and the whole sort of black empowerment movement, right? So whole that sort of stuff, and then the dread and all these different things. And he literally completely embodies all of that. Garnet Silk, freedom, black rights, everything. No profanity in his songs. It's just pure music, man. Pure like spirituality.
See, what I found is like in the UK. Most people don't know about the Garnet Silk thing. I would know. You would obviously know because we came from that. Yes. But I'm sure if we spoke to Kofi, he's like, "Who?" Like,
I've heard the name. I've heard the name because
but
I always
all of
used
my
to get
African
trained by a
friends,
Jamaican. I have no idea, bro.
All of the African friends that I've got, they are all over that. It just skipped the UK. Like, they just passed over it.
Yeah.
Even in Germany, when I was in Germany, he's popular in Germany as well. Like, I'm thinking,
yeah.
Well, they have like a reggae festival out in Germany though. They're on it differently.
I went to that. It was actually fire. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, in the Netherlands. But yeah, Garnet Silk, man, please don't sleep on this guy. I mean, he died so young, like so young, but he's so influential. You know, Garnet Silk, Dennis Brown, people like those are people. If you walk in the streets of Jamaica, man, you just hear those songs. It doesn't matter how old these. I mean, how many years these guys passed, how many years those songs were created. They just sound like they just transcend time. It's just incredible. Yeah, so those guys are
legendary.
So coming forward, so who were your musical inspirations then, Dane? Well, like, and then we'll get onto like how you obviously created your sound and stuff. But who inspired you musically or inspired you?
Oh, mate, like music. So I'm Jamaican, so of course I do like Jamaican artists. But ever since, so when I was growing up, my mom used to play a lot of the 1960s and 50s and those old soul, music like Sam Cooke and all these type of stuff, right? Just all these different. So you sort of it kind of evolved from that to listening into more like when I went to university, I started to listen to like grunge music and all these crazy, crazy deep metal stuff. And then, like Kindred and all these crazy stuff, right? But then Slipknot, all that sort of stuff. But then, it's just evolved over time, really. And I've always just been open to any sort of music. But in terms of favorite artists and the music that I listen to most regularly, so you listen to like Prince, that dude, I listen to all his albums. I mean, he's got like dozens and dozens of albums, clearly. Yeah. But I listen to Sign of the Times, over and over again. I've actually got a DVD of the actual performance of Sign of the Times. Like he's performed his album in his Paisley Park, and it's just incredible, man. So that guy is my idol. I mean, I know a lot of people love Michael Jackson, but I'm a Prince dude.
It's usually the two. It's usually one of the two, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm a massive Prince dude. But then, you've got offsprings from that. So I really like people like Blood Orange. I do like Kings of Leon. I like Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is like the band's favorite singers. Twin Shadow. I'm not sure if you've heard of Twin Shadow. Fellow, he's American, but he's background is Dominican Republic, and he does indie music. That's cool, dude. I mean, all those guys, man. Like. Lots of female singers too. Oh, when you're in Jamaica as well, they play a lot of Celine Dion and like.
Of course.
But yeah, but you always hear those things. But and you take little pieces of everything, and then you just kind of you just formulate something that sounds right to you in the end. But of course, when you're young and when R&B was massively popular, I'm not talking about new age R&B, I'm talking about 90s, 80s R&B,
2000s,
you kind of emulate a lot of the what do you call it, R. Kelly's and people like that, as you do, right? Because those guys were really popular back in the day. The Ushers and stuff, you want to sing like them because they were popular. But yeah, I mean, I listen to a whole range of music, man. My girlfriend's got me onto a whole bunch of stuff, man. Like some Italian artists and
Italian.
Andrea Bocelli, people like those. And,
Opera.
And listening to Andrea Bocelli, actually, you remember when we just went down into lockdown last year around the Easter time? And he was doing that Easter tribute, right? And they just had him. Of course, this man's black, but they just had him. And the church, Duomo, I can't remember what city it was in. Maybe it was in Rome or Milan, I can't remember. But he was there, him, the mic stand, and he was just singing. And they were just showing these pictures of all the different places locked down, and like there's no people in each of these cities. And just like the whole imagery and everything else was just like, my mind the guy's voice is unbelievable, unbelievable. But also he just captivates so many hearts. You know, it's incredible. Dudes. Yeah, I love Bocelli, so I listen to him a lot. Down and all sorts of stuff. Ludovico, like just pure piano stuff and all that sort of stuff as well.
You play any instruments though?
I tap the piano. I'm not very good, but I bought a key when I was about 16. I bought a keyboard. I was just playing stuff because didn't really have much space in the house, so you just play along and just do that and try and learn yourself, learn chords. I sort of learned the chords by myself and certain progressions and stuff like that. But I'm not very good by any means. I wouldn't play live piano. It's just like yeah, I'd sort of use that to support what I'm doing just to make sure it's it's in line with and also it's good because the guys that are around who are around me, Tom, we call him Frosty. He's like the coldest guitarist in the world, mate. Well, his name is Tom Frost, and Kyle. Those guys, they're musicians, so you kind of have to want to be able to like translate what you're thinking into a musical format so they can understand, and you can get to a solution much quicker as opposed to this note here, maybe it's like this. It's just a little bit easier, So, but I wouldn't play live. So I'd have to practice the song properly before I even go on.
You'll be one of those people. Dun 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 like that.
Yeah, exactly. But I understand. I hear stuff. So.
Well, so fine. Let's progress that. Let's bring that forward because we heard you, obviously you're doing bits when you're 15, 16, and then the musical course and stuff. Then what brought you to Kill Your Kings? Because I remember just jumping on your Instagram and I was just seeing you singing in the pub, and I was just like, bro, I never knew Dane sung like this. So explain the story of how you came to join this band, or were you created together? Did you know these guys and you created together? Explain how it come about.
No, it's an evolution, man, and everything just happened so naturally that it's just so good. So 4 of us in the band, right? You ate at my guy's pizza restaurant the other day.
Oh yeah, had to hit up man like Tony.
Yeah. He's so Tony, Kyle, and Tom. They've known each other for a very long time. Just about they all went to the same school. That sort of thing. Okay. Grew up in the same area, and they've been playing for years, but they never really had a singer in the band. I think they've had a couple of guys, maybe a couple of girls who come in and out, and they used to call themselves these guys. Anyway,
these guys.
Can I swear?
Yeah, you can swear.
Yeah. Anyway, so I met Kyle at my work. So I used to work for a company in London. It's like a global managed services provider, technology company. And Kyle sort of joined a couple of years after me. And then my manager at the time, he was putting together a Christmas band because the company is really supportive. They were putting together a band for Christmas, and there was a whole bunch of people that volunteered. So I went there as I volunteered my time. I was like, I live nearby, so I'll just pop down to where you guys are doing rehearsals, and I'll come in and I'll do the sound engineering for you guys and see how things are going. Because I was a bit tentative, I wasn't sure if I wanted to join or not. Anyway, whilst I was there, my manager was like, "Hey, why don't you just jump in?" So I jumped in and we started doing a couple of songs and stuff. And so Kyle was there, a couple of other people. And after the Christmas gig and things like that, it went quite well. So Kyle and I was like, "Hey, we're vibing," and you were like, "Hey, let's make some more music together," basically. And so we started playing, and he brought Tom in, and it was kind of like this audition that you didn't really know was an audition, right? It was done so casually, so they were probably trying to check me out and see if I was any good, right? So Tom came down, and this dude on the guitar is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So he came down after one of our Christmas gigs practices, and then we were just playing and just vibing. And we were like, yeah, we can do this again. So we started just doing it. So it's really natural progression, nothing forced. And we were like, hey, let's play this again. But back, and that was really the first time in a very long time when I started to just get back into singing because of the Christmas gig thing, and then this, and I was like, actually, I'm loving this again. You got the bug. Don't get me wrong, but I always just sung by myself, and I might sing I've got my keyboard here, so I might just sit in the living room and I'll play some slow jams and I'll hum along to that, whatever it is, that sort of stuff. But it was a really good opportunity, and I was like, I've always really wanted to do a proper band, like not, hey, put the backing track on the thing and then go up on the stage and then you sing to the back. I'm not into that. I wanted to do a proper band. Nice. And and these guys, they didn't really have a front man, and I was like, hey, well, let's roll it, man. And we started rolling. We got a couple of guys in, and they had some old songs that they did back in the day when they were like 14, 15. And they'd never written any lyrics or anything like that to it. And I was like, okay, let me take it on. So I was like, give me this. I took them like 4 or 5 songs, and I started writing lyrics to them. And changing things here or there, maybe the arrangement, whatever it is, and things just started sounding all right. We were like, wow. And they just started, we were like, actually, this is getting a lot more fun. So we basically spoke to our because we were actually paying for a rehearsal space in Old Street, but we spoke to my work at the time, and they gave us a space, an office space, where we can literally just like keep our equipment and just jam, and we literally just jamming there.
That's cool. That's wicked.
Yeah, so we used to practice like 2-3 times a week, even on the weekends as well. And we just started we were doing some covers. We had a little residency in a little pub in Richmond. So we had a residency there, and we was doing some Christmas stuff and Easter stuff, and and it was just grew from there really. And we started to more proactively looking for more sort of open mics and things like that to do. And then really what kicked it off as well properly, we're like, because we were at the start at some of the pubs, people like these pub goers, they like to hear familiar songs, right? So we'll do like the Wonderwalls, and
you have to break them in.
Yeah, that's a common pub favorites, right?
Yeah, break them in.
Yeah, that people liked. So we did those. But then when we did our first open mic, I think back in 2019, we sort of played our own song. We actually played some songs that we hadn't really written down properly, just improv, and it just sounded good. I mean, and people were giving us a really good reception. We had some other artists there, like not what the music industry is like. Loads of independent artists
just around,
people around, and they really liked what we were doing. We were like, actually, let's just continue to do it from there, really. And really, we just been writing as much as we could, and we just found ourselves with a really strong catalog of really good music. And so the next step would be just to start to record stuff.
So then, where did the name Kill Your Kings come from then?
So Kill Your Kings, really. So the guys that keep themselves with these guys.
Right.
Yeah, we really think I was like, these guys is not gonna fly.
It's too standard. These guys. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys.
I think we were at a songwriting session, and the guys might remember this a little bit differently, but I'm kind of thinking we were at a songwriting session at Carl's house in South London, and we were at the songwriting session, and then we were meant to perform, because actually there was a rehearsal, and then we were going to perform the songs at the pub, and we were actually like, I was like, okay, what's the band's name? Because this is our first time performing at this pub. I think it's called a White Heart or something like that in Richmond. A White Horse. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to go on stage calling myself these guys.
These guys.
Names out there and meanings and things like that. But for us as a band, like the music that we write is music about being an individual, uplifting yourself, independence, freedom, these type of things, right? And we kind of music that reflects stuff around us in terms of like social things, mental health, these type of things. And so a whole bunch of names got thrown in the hat. And then Kill Your Kings are stuck because Kill Your Kings kind of refers to, the things that people worship, it's not about, it's basically seeing the divinity within yourself as opposed to idolizing something else. And, it's just cutting off those idols effectively. So it's, kings are idols, queens are idols. You could have called Kill Your Queens, whatever it is, but, all these different types of things, these are idols. We're like, hey, just kill your kings. Let go of all these things, these idols and things that actually hold you back from being who you are and things like that. So that's kind of how we kind of thought about it. I mean, we probably could have a different name, but that's really kind of the name. But it kind of worked twofold as well, where when we did another gig in Old Street, not Old Street, in Angel this time, in East London. They one of the guys. So obviously we said Kill Your Kings, but I went to speak to a couple of guys afterwards, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Kick up." Interesting.
Yeah, Kick.
I'm like, yeah, cool. So Kick there, so it's Kill Your Kings, but Kick, it's just as a short form. So it kind of works twofold. But yeah, that's really how it came about in terms of just getting rid of those things that hold you back, man, your demons, your idols. So, but yeah, and it sounded cool and just like provocative, So we wanted to.
It is catchy name. It's like, bro, who calls themselves Kill Your Kings? Yeah. When you say across the bottom, it's written KYK, Kick, which is a nice play on the Kill Your Kings. She's like, okay, cool. Kind of takes your attention a little bit.
Yeah, but so people think of us, because I remember when we were putting out, when Tony wasn't able to sort of gig with us, we kind of wanted some temporary drummers to come in, and we were sort of putting out little ads and things like that on, find band members. Can't remember what the website's called. We're putting out these little adverts, and people thought we were like death metal band. We really
Slipknot days.
Dude.
I couldn't help that. You just put that one in there.
We don't limit ourselves, but yeah.
Right.
Okay. So people were like, yeah.
I don't blame them. You can't see where that reception can come from, though.
Yeah.
Easily. Fine. So that was 2 years ago. So then, what's been the progression since? Like, you've been doing obviously a lot of pub stuff, effectively, and small gigs here and there.
Yeah.
So then, where have you stepped it up, and what are you guys doing now? What's the projection for KYK?
Ultimately. So like I said, Tom was actually in a band, Frosty. He was in a band, a really cool band actually, and at the time when we were sort of just starting out. So it took a little while before we sort of properly said, cool, let's do this properly, So when we finally did that, sort of had it back early last year, and we said, let's go and record. You recorded our first track. I think on the second lockdown. On the first lockdown, we kind of had a schedule to do it, but then we couldn't because of the lockdown. The studios weren't letting us in, so we decided to do it on the when the restrictions lift just after the second lockdown, I believe it was. But in terms of the progression, the whole idea is, well, we want to test our songs out in front of people. So our priority is basically just big live. So we've got a couple of venues that we're talking to about sort of gigging live and promoters and things like that. So, but we really like our little pub spot as well, because it's a good place where people can sort of come and they get to hear your band and stuff like that, right? So ultimately what we want to be doing, the ideal scenario for any band is go on tour, but in light of our situation, we're people, so we're not necessarily a full-time band as such. We're all still working people, but ultimately, we want to continue to make music, record a lot more, gig a hell of a lot more. So hopefully, as soon as the lockdown eases, interact in tours and stuff like that, we can start. It's like small stuff. There are other places like the Troubadour, for example, And Earl's Court was a really cool spot. To play like that, and you get paid for it. So we're not planning world domination or anything like that. We just love music, and but for certain, we're going to be recording a hell of a lot more, and putting out a huge more demos and songs. We might put an album together at some point, but that's not really on the top of the agenda, because we certainly have enough songs to put an album together, but we really just want to play, get the feedback, and just put the demo songs out. So that's kind of where we are, really. Yeah. So the band is that. But Tom, I know Tom, he loves his European tours and stuff. And that sort of stuff. They sort of went out to, and they did a lot of gigs in Europe. They do the stuff Romania and all these Germany and places like those. You rent the van and you do those road trips. So it's pretty cool.
Right, so proper hire a big van, put a load of stuff into the back. You guys go from hotel to hotel. Right, you're doing it old school, man.
Yeah, so that's kind of we'd love to do a lot of things like that too. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are. Like I said, we're not planning world domination, but we definitely have songs that are that I think will resonate with a huge amount of reaches. That'll bring a lot of joy to our hearts for now. But let's just see where it takes us, right? So there's no see where it takes us, I guess.
100%. So I mean, I know you said the top of your agenda is not to release albums and stuff like that, but do you have any singles in the pipeline that you want to
mate, you have not heard. I mean, I'm not trying to hype this up, right? But
yeah, you are. Hype it up, man.
Yeah, so we've done a song called Keep On Keeping On. I love it. We've been getting some really good feedback from it. It's just it's an uplifting track. It's pretty easygoing. It's cool. But then we also have some other tunes. There's one called Goodbye London. I think I've got a live clip of it on my thing. That's just another beautiful melody. But we really love that song. So we're gonna get that one recorded. We've got another song called Dream On, which is just unbelievable, dude. I mean, we love that track. We love that track. We want to get that out. And so that's in fact, we're going to record Dream On in the next couple of weeks. And that will be out in the next, in a month or so. And then we've got another tune called I Can't Breathe, which is, that just turns, that's one of my favorite tunes.
Is it the political statement, I can't breathe, or is it just...
No, this is well before the whole sort of issue in the US and George Floyd and all that sort of stuff. But actually, so, Tom was going through a little period where he was sick and couldn't hear from him, and we were obviously very worried. And so one day, out of the blue, he just messaged me with this track, and he was like, this is 3 o'clock in the morning. He was like, mate, I can't sleep. He's like, mate, I can't. And this is after hadn't heard from him for about 2 weeks. And he just messaged me and on the group. And he was like, dude, I can't sleep. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, but here's something that I rustled together. And I was like, okay, cool. So then I haven't listened to it at 3 o'clock in the morning because I hadn't gone next to me. And then I was like, cool. So then I went back to bed, got up around 6:30, whatever it is, went for a cycle, came back. And then, I just had this melody and words and stuff like that in my head. And I was like, you know what, I'm just so I've got a little home recording kit. So I recorded the song. Well, the whole premise was he was telling me that he was sick. He couldn't sleep. And he just feels a little bit, wheezy basically. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to write a song about that. It's about that particular situation that he was in at that particular moment. So I was like, let me just represent that in the song.
You should have called it Man Flu.
Yeah. Man flu for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Well, hey, it's one of my favorite songs because it's just so heavy, man. It's just it's a heavy track, but it's got like a really nice balance, and it's got this funk undertone to it. Just when I release it, I keep saying to the guys, let's just do this one. I mean, if you come to our gigs, you'll hear us play it, but Tom's like, mate, this song is too good. We can't put that and Keep On and Goodbye London on the same thing. It'll be too much,
But surely you want people to have that sweet taste of that honey.
Yeah, I know.
Where are you coming from?
They want that sarsaparilla. They want the taste of that sarsaparilla. You get me?
Yeah.
No, on the real. When you sent me Keep On Keeping On, actually, I actually listened to that song on repeat a lot.
Oh, really? Wow.
Because it's one of those easy listening tracks that if anybody, although we're not in America, I just picture yourself on a pickup on a long journey and you slap that song on and it gets you in such a ponderous mindset and it kind of takes you away from everything that you're doing. Yeah. It's such like that track is such a nice track, and when you sent me that and I heard it, I was like, these guys are on something. It's like, and I was like, this is a beautiful track. Then you sent me the next track. I forgot the name of it already, which was like the funk rock. I was just like, these guys just flipped the script in a flash.
I
Can't breathe.
Yeah, that's I Can't Breathe. Yeah.
Oh, yo, Dan, with that track, the switch ups are crazy. I heard this. I only heard the snippet. I only heard the instrumentals, and I was just like, "Raw, these guys going from funk, and then they just literally just slap it up, and it goes into rock." Sorry, I probably gave it away. My bad. Sorry.
There's a lot of dynamics in that track that makes it. It just makes it one of my favorite, and partly because like. I just know, when I'm thinking about music, I'm thinking about what would Prince do, right? Like he just wants to hit the crowd, So you kind of want to apply this type of, how you tell your story, but it shouldn't be predictable, So, but yeah.
Instead, actually, what I just described about I Can't Breathe. How do you describe your sound overall? Kick's whole overall sound. How do you describe it?
It's tough because. Sometimes I play songs to my girlfriend, and she'll be like, "Oh, you sound like Kings of Leon." Yeah, and then I'll play all the tracks, and she's like, I play to my to friends or even a guy on what do you call it, SoundCloud commented like it's a bit like this, like a country rock type, it's strange, like bluesy undertone. But in terms of our overall genre of music, I think the predominant genre, you will definitely hear a bit of like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, funky type style. I think that's probably more predominant in terms of what we do. But though our smoother stuff tend to feel a little bit more like the Keep On Keeping On, which is a little bit more nuanced as opposed to it's not necessarily like it's not modern rock. I think it's more you go back into like a Jimi Hendrixy story.
It touches on country in it, and it's literally a country blues.
Exactly, but it's definitely more nuanced and a little bit more trans. I don't know what word you would use there, but it definitely treads.
Oh, transcends through different genres.
It transcends different genres.
Yeah, you're right.
And people just listen to it and that's a really good song, as opposed to this is a rock song, that's a really good rock song. They wouldn't say it's a really good rock song. They would say it's really good because my uncle hadn't heard me sing ever, right? So he didn't really know that I sung.
It's bloody kind of way here, by the way.
Yeah, I played him my track in the car. 2 or 3 months ago, and he was like, "What, Dane? This is you?" And I was like, in a very thick Jamaican accent, by the way. And he's like, "This song is bad." He's like, "Are you gonna release this?" And he's like, "I need to hook you up. I need to hook you up with these people and all these sort of stuff." So yeah, no, there's a bunch of people that have heard it. Radio.
What song was that you played it to? Sorry.
Huh?
What song did you play?
That was Keep On Keeping On.
Yeah.
When you heard it.
No, he's right. That song is bad.
Yeah.
That song is so wicked.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, our priority really, we want to play some more. We also want to record and get all the songs up onto because we haven't really completed our social profiles and stuff like that, which is really really lazy of us, to be honest, because we were so dependent on playing in front of people, and that's really what our priority was. But we definitely need to start utilizing the channels that we have. You will definitely see us on Spotify. You'll definitely see us on iTunes and all these different platforms that you have out there as well. So definitely stay tuned for those. It's going to be I mean, the stuff that we've got coming, mate, I'm so excited.
I'm excited to hear it, man.
And the thing is, our writing is so collaborative as well. Like, Hal plays the bass. Obviously, I do play a bit of piano from time to time, and obviously write the song and lyrics. And then Tom, he plays lead guitar. But sometimes Tom might be in a certain mood, and he's like, "Hey, this is how I feel." And he just sends us stuff through to like WhatsApp, and then we're like, this is really good. And I'll put something on top of it, and then it's just a real collaborative. Oh my god, I just remembered something, and I've been talking so much.
What? Huh?
One of the first tracks. I mean, we haven't released it, but one of the first tracks we ever recorded was Susie. Dude, I'm gonna send that to you tonight. Actually, you should listen to this one. But it's Susie. It's such a good song. I'll send it to you.
Please send it. I mean, if anything's it don't have to be in the same vein. As I said,
I'll send that one up on SoundCloud as well. But how could I forget? I mean, that's just
because you're excited about the rest of the stuff that you got coming, which is understandable.
Yeah, no, but no, man. I think. Listen, I think all in all, us four guys. Tony, myself. Obviously, Tony's. You went to eat at Tony's Pizza restaurant the other day.
Tony's Pizza, Ciao Pizza.
Ciao Pizza.
Honestly, pizza was banging.
Yeah.
Jeez, nice to have an authentic pizza. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, we digress, man. Honestly, I'm going back there tomorrow.
Yeah, I forgot what. But no, it's such a collaborative environment that we work in, man, and as a result, our music just comes out so sweet to our ears, anyway. If people like it, but so
definitely build it, because I mean, music is just a space for sharing everybody's stories, isn't it? And I just want to hear you guys' stories and your perspectives and stuff like that. And honestly, I just love uplifting music. Come with more uplifting music and thought-provoking music, and I'm all there. I'm always all ears, personally.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people look at Lev3ls and see us and be like, "Oh, you guys are hip-hop, grime, all of this bass." No, we're music-based. That's what I'm gonna say to people. Music has many faces, many genres, many takes. We want to just put that on this platform and share that again, and that's more reason why you're here. And I can't wait for us to do that together.
I know I'm small fry compared to many of the others that you brought on, but
we're small fry as well. We're growing together. We're all growing together at the same time.
Yeah. But when you like have something just sounds so good to the ears, man, you just have to, irrespective of even if we don't make any money from what we're doing, ever, it's like four guys literally just channeling all their spirituality, their energy, their experiences, their thoughts, everything into a particular, creative channel, right? Music, that's it. So there's just a way for, I've met a whole bunch of people through music, and some of my lifelong friends have been because of that. So it's something that you can never let go of, and that's kind of what the beauty of music is. It's just that connecting force that allows people to, this gives you a foundation or at least a very just something that people can relate to.
Medium. Yeah.
even if I can imagine if someone like Andrea Bocelli and a Slipknot they met, even though the music is so vastly different, they literally relate over something, because ultimately music is, regardless of the melodies that you're singing, it's that spirituality, you're channeling something, right? So I think that's the most important piece.
Just put one of the most messed up thoughts in my head.
9 Inch Nails, people like those, mate. I tell you, when I was back at uni, my mind is I was a proper goth, man. Pure blood.
Really?
Pure black, yeah, pure black. Like what do you call it? Dr. Martens boots, skinny jeans, like with the belts with the studs in there. Yeah, I would wear nothing like black hoodie. I would wear nothing, almost nothing but black. And
what made you dip into that actually pretty quickly?
Mate, it's just the environment that I was in, really. If you think about it, so I went to university outside of London, so and there's just a massive, and back then as well, you have to think about it. There's a huge like indie scene, right? You've got like the Coots and all these different bands. That was like the indie moment back then, isn't it? Like
that's when Arctic Monkeys were just sparked up in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you had a whole bunch of people like coming from the north and Derby and all these different places that this type of music was prevalent, and they come to uni. And you just make some music about everyone, really. And then top of that, there wasn't that many black people there, so you just blended in.
You just blended in, however.
And so you didn't really get so there's a lot of dance music and a lot of electro pop and all these type of stuff, and then very, very deep grunge, metal.
You went for deep grunge and metal.
Yeah, mate, I just listen to everything, man, because it's kind of like when you're at uni, it's like and it's so true, irrespective of whether or not you what you study at university, you really should go. Although I might eat myself if my child ever grows up and says, I'm going to study, football studies at university, I might say, I'm not so sure about that, but not that I have anything against football studies. But irrespective of what you study at university, I think it's a worthwhile experience, because like it's like that 3-year period is just like a huge discovery moment, isn't it? Like you're trying to find yourself, like you've got a level of independence that you never had before. You're dipped into like this deep water with like a whole bunch of different people in the same boat. You guys are just gonna have to figure it out. No one teaches you how to do university, right? Your parents tell you their stories, but their stories, even though like
everybody dated stories about living in dorms.
It'll be very different. But for me, because obviously I'm first generation going to university out of my family, much like many of us, no one teaches you how to do this stuff, right? So when you're in a boat with all your friends, you just hang out and just do whatever, man.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I loved uni. I went to Kingston, innit? I loved uni. It was
a lot of fun down there, mate. That's what it is.
Kingston was a big fan.
Is it a campus uni where you can live on campus?
Yeah. They had 3-4 campuses, I think.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Hey, you remember Abdullah?
Yeah.
From Cadets?
Yeah.
He studied like aerospace engineering at Kingston University. Did you not see him?
Where?
Yeah.
No, bro.
He's probably too busy studying, to be fair.
Yeah, true. Because Dane, I'm telling you, I was partying 4 out of 7 days at least.
Oh, really?
I was out. Tuesday I was out. Wednesday I was out. Thursday I probably had basketball training. Friday I probably had a match and then I went out. Saturday, I don't know, probably went to one of the campuses and chilled. Sunday is when I slept.
Did you go to like Oceanas and things like that?
Mate, but they had 112 coming down. They had Damage. They had Missy Elliott. Yeah, they had Missy Elliott.
Oh, wow.
Bringing Missy, not to Oceana, it was the Works then. Then it turned into the Hippodrome. When they're bringing these people down, I'm telling you, you're partying. People from Leicester, Birmingham, all these unis would come all the way from outside just to come to Kingston.
They did, didn't they? Yeah,
just to come to Kingston. Bro, it was wicked. I had the best time at uni. Yeah. It was one of the best times ever. And then I had to get serious. But the first year, by saying that.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun at university, but mate, I never drunk or did any
Oh, you're a nice, sensible
Nothing
guy.
crazy. I was never drunk back then.
You're a sensible guy. Kingston, you had to get. I mean, they're giving you £1 drinks, bruv. £1 WKD blues. You had to.
The scenes I would witness was unbelievable.
But the scenes.
Yeah, the scenes, like my mates who, I mean, I lived in a house in the second year. Well, things just spiraled out of control. It was just bad. But yeah, I lived in a house in the second year with like 5 other guys. And,
shit happens.
I mean, I'm telling you, it was the best time. It was just like it's a crazy time. We had like I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail, but you know, we had like a poker table. We had a little basement area where we hold like poker events. Through Time and Envy, you know, and I'd also get high on Red Bull and Coca-Cola and things like that. And we have a strip pole in the have a strip pole in our living room. So we literally bought a pole. And it was mad. It was crazy, man.
I want to know what the hell was going on.
He's outside London. Different.
Yeah, we were also on a massive health kick as well, though, because like none of the boys, you know, they were all like, you know, everyone just enjoyed just having good muscles, mate. Like looking well, you know. So yeah, we used to go like 6 days a week, you know, and that was it. It was crazy, man.
I think that's complete opposites, man. 6 days a week.
Don't get me wrong. Like on a Monday, and you go to like Time and Envy. They have various different names for the same brand. But you go to like Time and Envy, you've got like bus loads of people. Like they literally just pick you up from campus and just like shuttle you into town and then shuttle you back, and you pay like £50 all you can drink. You literally just drink the whole bar. I mean, obviously, I'll drink.
Where was this uni?
Huh?
Where was this uni?
Northampton. Yeah. It's not fancy, but yeah, it's Northampton. It's good.
15 quid and it's massive. You can drink. I am sorry, people should be dying on that kind of thing, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I'm not surprised. People, the scenes after getting back home on the buses, it was unbelievable, man.
Imagine everybody just vomiting on the.
Taxis back then was so cheap. You know, like, but if you really wanted to, like, I mean, you could get drunk and like not just drunk, you could get literally shit-faced wasted on like, I don't know, £10, really. I mean, just it was just madness.
I believe that.
You know, all these type of things.
I believe that. I went out to a night in Sheffield once, and they were doing double JDs and Cokes and double Hennies and Cokes for like £1.50 or £2.
That's nuts,
I was like, what? Mate, yeah. I was busted. That's one of the few nights, yeah. You say I was shit-faced. In my life, I was shit-faced. I was ruined that day. And me and my friend, because we travelled up from London, it was like, it's going to be one of the nights. We pre-drunk, innit? And we did it. We basically was playing 21, yeah, with a regular like litre bottle of JD. So 21 or bust, yeah? So we were playing that. So imagine how quickly, and the loser, whoever loses has to take a shot. So imagine how quickly we dropped that. We're seeing these crazy treat drinks. Oh my God, you can imagine. Ruined.
Mate, I'm telling you, sometimes, I mean, like I said, I never drunk or anything like that, but because like you're around like drunk people, you just kind of breathe this. It's like this thing about spirit, right? It's literally just the energy, right? I remember this is one story where my mate, I won't say his name, but it was like 7 or 8 of us. We went to I can't remember what this club's called now, but I think it was like a Tuesday or Thursday. A load of our friends came up from like London, and we all went out looking fresh, whatever it was, right? The craziest thing is we never all went back home together, yeah, because things always happen. Whatever it is. But anyway, so it happens that one of my mates, he got kicked out of his flow. I was like, okay, I'm the sober one. Let me try and take him home. But then, like, because he's like wasted, beyond wasted, in fact. And but when when it's really dark and it's like night, like right now, you can tell my eyes are a little bit red, right? But it's natural for me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So so I was like, okay, cool. Because I'm not drinking, let the boys enjoy themselves. I'll take this one home. So my mate, he basically convinced me to like, no mate, let's go to the casino.
Oh Lord.
So we're like there, and he's like, no, dude, come on, let's go to the casino, man. We went to the casino, and this woman was like, so we got there, and casinos, they've got this very like strange like aura, like this weird feeling about them. But my mate, he loves like poker, 21s, these type of things. We went there, and just before we got in, the bouncer was like, stop. And he stopped me, right? He stopped me. He was like, you stop. And like he's like letting my mate through, and I was like, mate, I haven't even drunk. He's like, don't worry, like he's like, D, don't worry, like because when he's drunk, he's like, it's very like he's like the calmest man in the world, yeah. He's like, don't worry about it. Yeah, he's like the calmest, like most like he's just a calm and collected guy anyway. But when he's drunk, he's just even more. And he was walking in, and I was just like, cool, let's pop in. They asked us for our ID, gave him my ID, and they were like, okay, you're not coming in. And I was like, are you sure? Are you absolutely sure about this? Because I can tell you right now, I'm not touching the house. They're like, you're not coming in. I was like, they were like, oh, you're really drunk. I was like,
But the thing is, you say your eyes are red.
Yeah, because
it's a natural thing for black people. Yeah. When we're tired, our eyes just go red. What can we do?
1 o'clock in the morning, and the woman and the guy, the bouncer was like, "You're not coming in, mate." I mean, in the end, I managed to get in, and luckily, actually, the money that we spent on getting actually getting into the previous club, I think we made something like £16. Like profit, right? So so that was basically what we spent to get into all these different premises. And so after that we spent like an hour in there and then home. But yeah, it was so jokes. They're trying to stop me thinking that I'm the one that's like the drunk one. Like, hey, I couldn't be any more sober if you asked me to.
Exactly. I'll be like, you know what? When he finishes everything in this casino, that's on you guys. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's on you guys. Stupid decision.
Nah, the funny thing is, before we got into the casino, it was like he was like this, like proper rocking from side to side, right? And he's like, "Babe, let's pretend like let's look like we're not drunk. Let's look sober, right?" So, and he was proper like shirt tucked in, it was crazy, mate. Like doing the hair, doing the eyebrows and proper look like.
Listen, he's done that one too many times.
Yeah,
he's done that one too many times. But oh boy, Dane. It's been wonderful talking to you, man. I found out a little bit about the band KYK, and again delving a little bit into the history. Oh, one thing I did want to ask actually, how did you feel actually integrating into the British society coming from Jamaica at that age? Just before we go, Dan,
it's a tough environment. Obviously, the first. I mean, I'm sure your boy can testify to this as well. Listen, actually, it's a long answer to a short question I've got here, but it's put it like this, right? When I came, when I sort of finally came here, settled here and stuff like that, you went to the council. And because it was just outside term, it was like around the September time. So school had started probably like 2 or 3 weeks prior. And they were like, obviously, I need to get into school. And we went to the council and they were like, you go to this school here. Basically, and so they basically placed me into a school. They didn't take into account they looked at the grades and things like that I got from Jamaica. But they didn't take that into account. So they basically sent me to one of the worst schools.
Where'd you go? Back to Tech?
Yeah, mate, in the whole of South London, which has been...
Yeah. Family, Dan, that school I thought my school was bad. Battersea Tech was a travesty, bruv.
Mate, I'm telling
Battersea
you,
Tech was a travesty.
I mean,
how did you climb out of that mess?
I don't know. To be honest, him sitting in front of me like he is now, it is amazing. That school was. It was even in the news, literally as like one of the worst schools in London. It was on the news at the time.
But the worst part of this was that it was recommended to me. It was recommended by this person at the council. They're like, oh, I've gone to the school, they're really good. They do really good classes here. But do you know why they sent me there? It was because there was a whole bunch of Jamaicans. And they said that would be an easy way for me to integrate. As if I didn't speak English and didn't have really good grades. Because in the Caribbean, what people don't realize is that in the Caribbean, if you're, I'm not gonna like say I'm bright enough, but if you're bright enough or extra smart, you can skip levels in classes, right? So basically, I started high school when I was just about 10. So at that point, so it's not like I'm stupid or dumb, right? So anyway, when I got here, they basically didn't take into account the grades and things like that I got, and they sent me to the school. I mean, me thinking, because they were wearing like suit and tie, and of course in Jamaica as well, people do that. But them wearing nice clothes and stuff like that, I thought, okay, that's a good school. But I could never know. My mom could never know either. She doesn't understand the system. But anyway, yeah, it was a nightmare 2 years. Managed to be one of the only boys to get 5 A to C's to be able to pass and go on to college, right? Like literally, I'm trying to think if there was another boy in that whole school that got 5 A to C's that qualified for college. There was probably about, I think, out of 120 people, and don't quote me on this, out of 120 people, there was 14 that passed. I think it was 11 that passed, so it was about 14% that year that got 5 A to C's and above. And all the people were literally my friends.
Yeah, hold on. Dane, 1 second. Dan, are you deep in this, bruv? Are you deep in how crazy this is?
I'm
wild.
just taking it in. I'm taking it in.
The thing is, my school wasn't too much better. My school really wasn't too much better. When I came into the school, I think they had I think a 20% or 28% actually pass rate. That's A star to C.
Yeah.
You're telling me 72% of the school leaving are failing.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
It was that mad. And I was fortunate that my school, by the time I left, thankfully it reversed. It was 72, 75% were passing A star to C.
No, not even by the time I left. When I left,
that's bad.
14% pass rate.
My school was down the road, so we always had beef.
After that, I was like, I'm getting out of this place. I mean, don't get me wrong, the teachers, they really tried, but I'm telling you, the environment was toxic, man. It was really bad. And you had so many supply teachers, people like turning in and out. So in terms of like getting you embedded into society, I'm not sure if that's the best way to do that. If that's not a good example of how to like make a child feel welcome in school. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I was like a prefect, things like that, and like I tried to do my best to help the school when Ofsted come to like do because they did what do you call it, inspections regularly. So I
did an inspection every year from Ofsted when everybody's having football.
See, that's how you know that school was a bad school, because
it was horrible.
Because like in my whole school time, we had one. Like our school's pretty decent. I know you lot are talking about how bad your school was. Like we were pretty cool. Like you were getting visited by Ofsted pretty often. If you saw them a lot, you were obviously on special measures. Like they must have been on special measures.
No, they were. I think later on, after I left, maybe about 2 or 3 years afterwards, they were taken over by Harris Academy. Harris, they're known for sort of going into like basically like they're the administrators, right? So they just go into like schools, take them over, label them as Harris. They're the administrators to like
school bailiffs.
They uplift underperforming schools. But in the end, I mean, they made some progress, but mate, I had to duck out and just go to ADT College, and that's where I met lifelong friends, amazing people, loads of guys. Arba, Ryan, yeah, all these guys, you know, amazing people. So it was just a great environment. But also, cadets was like, if I didn't have cadets or that perspective of the UK, and then being able to like go outside of London and things like that, my mind would have just been completely. It would have been a bad situation had I just had the experience of Battersea Tech. So in terms of like embedding in society, my mentors in cadets, Mr. Morland, people like that, Anthony, and James, Mr. Bright, all these different people, you know, I still call them by, you know
the surnames.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Regiment names.
I'm struggling not to call you Addo now, mate, because anyway, but yeah, so all these people, you know, strong mentors around you. So maybe you got good friends. But the shocking thing was, and remember when I went to ADT and started my first year, and I was asking kids out, how many GCSEs did you get? People are like, oh yeah, I got like 12 GCSEs. I'm like, huh? I'm like, sorry, 12 GCSEs, and all of them were between A's and C's. That's it. And people are like, oh, yeah, I got like 9 A's and 3 B's. Like, I'm what? And like, there's some of the smartest people I've ever met, and you know, it just broadened your horizon. Well, it was unbelievable, mate. But settling in overall, home life, my mom tried her best. You know, but me, I just love exploring, mate. I just never limit myself to anything. So, TV, between TVs, going out to like, you know, doing cadet stuff. Because every opportunity where we can go flying, we go up to like Cranford, all these places. Go to all different RAF bases, and that's one of the ways that you kind of discover and realize that actually life outside London is completely different. And you know, let's expand your mind and start to think a little bit. Yeah, and then also going to university and all this other stuff. So everything just really sort of, you know, a combination of all of that stuff, but also urban voice, meeting different people, getting some life coaching, knowing that there are different career paths, all these different things, man. So yeah, kind of sort of helped. But overall, it's been a great. I mean, look at me now. I haven't been started, not in any gangs, nothing like that. You know, I'm cool. So
cool. You know. Dan, I'm gonna fit that question to you. I've never actually asked you that question. How's it settling for you, bro?
Settling in was cool. It actually wasn't as bad as.
You know what? Hold on. Like, you know what? That counselor must have hated you or something, because he knew how bad that school was, bro.
Yeah, he tried to throw you on the bus, because that could have went sideways.
Easy.
That could have went sideways pretty quick.
He didn't understand the system. We didn't even interview him at different colleges, schools. He was just like, I was looking at the prospectus. I had a bunch of prospectuses, and he was like, yeah, this one. You'll feel actually, his words were, and I remember this because I understand, you're feeling great at this place. And of course I'm feeling great, bro.
That's incredible.
He thought, just put him with some more Jamaicans. They'll be fine.
Just put him with some more Jamaicans, and that was it. But it's misunderstanding, because like people don't really understand that like Jamaican education is pretty high level, really, really good. You know.
No, but you got to stretch it to just say the Caribbean education.
Actually, it's very clear. I mean,
what people don't understand is, and it's similar for kids in Africa that are bright. The level of bright kids is bright. Like these people are outstanding, bro.
Yeah.
Like when you get a bright child, like, and I was like an average student, but there were some guys that were just mad bright. Like a couple times I'm looking at them, like, and I'm like 7 or 8 years old, and I'm still like, how are you that smart? And I'm still trying to figure certain things out. Like, and that's the kind of stuff that we grew up against. We grew up with. And then you come to the UK and I see guys arguing with teachers, and it was a flipper. Like I didn't understand it, because bro, just try and raise your voice a little bit. Just a bit. Try a thing. Try a thing. Just try a thing, fam. It's like
you can't try with any teacher. And the thing is,
curtains for you, bro. Yeah. It's curtains.
Yeah, the crazy thing is,
I remember one teacher said to me, we're in the classroom, and I can't remember what happened, but like someone was about to get the lash, We had a tamarind tree outside the school.
Oh, what man outside picking tamarind or something like that?
No, but if you like tamarind, the branches of tamarind trees are notoriously slingy.
Dude, especially if they dip it in water.
Yeah, they're notoriously slingy. So when the licks come, they slap. You know, they slap. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But stay.
So I came back from the tree because I'm thinking, no, I don't want him to get too laced. So I came back with something half decent.
Hold on, they said you to pick the branch for the guy to get licked.
It's ruthless. Understand this ruthless, bro. It's ruthless. It's ruthless. Like people don't understand the stuff like that you
they put you across their lap, right, and say, if you misbehave, or if you turn up to class late, for example, you've got an hour's lunch, right, and then you turn up to class and you're sweaty. But mate, I'm telling you, you're sweaty, you go into class, teacher will be like, why are you so sweaty? You'd literally, they'll punish you because. But imagine this, right? The sun is baking like 35, 40 degrees, yeah.
That's why you're sweating.
How could you not sweat? See, if you're running around as a child and you're sweaty,
I'm telling you, not to sweat in that direct sunlight as well, bro.
Yeah,
like, come 12 o'clock in the Caribbean when the sun's right overhead.
It's over for you, man.
Bro, I'm talking. You can't even put your toes on the street. Like you will melt, bro. Like you will melt. Listen, like honestly, like when I look back at it, I think those early sort of like discipline lessons have really come in handy in life. I'm not gonna lie, like they really, really have. And I just think, I don't know how it feels for you, but I used to hate it. I hated it's like regimental, right? Like it's just like you were in some kind of army school, but not really. It was just shirt tucked in. You had to look fresh. It was no nonsense all the time. And like now I'm grown up, and all these little discipline things they're still there. Well, mate, and I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful. I am grateful now.
I know. If you think of like cadets, right? So similar story, right? It's very like you have to respect your elders, one. And imagine you come to school, you have to be in the class before the teacher, always. Yeah. Because you'll be in detention or some sort of problem. And then when the teacher comes into the class, especially if you have visitors, you have to stand up, you have to write, good morning, teacher, good afternoon, teacher. And the teacher says, when the teacher sits down, you sit down.
Do you know I'm laughing? Because you went back to see tech, these people are probably dashing things at the teacher.
Mate, could you imagine? So I was trying to explain to my brother. Could you imagine, right? So when I was in back to tech, I was sitting in science class, and the teacher was like,
I can't imagine.
You'd be in science class for a minute, right? And then the teacher would like sit there. Now the teacher would come in, but everyone's in class. People are fighting, punching each other, swearing at each other, and like throwing.
It's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania in the classroom.
And then I'm sitting down. I'm like with like my two friends.
Doing tables and chairs in the classroom, you know.
I'm like this. I'm just waiting for waiting for the teacher to start, but clearly the teacher can't start because all this activity is happening all around. Yeah. And some teachers deal with it differently. There are others, and actually, some of the stuff that I experienced about it was. It was trauma, but overall, in terms of settling in, overall in British society, I give a huge amount of that to
cadets.
To cadets, and just friends that I've made from cadets. I love all the people. I don't think there's the thing is there's this camaraderie that you it doesn't matter where these people are in their life right now, like if they're in a different country, whatever it is. If you see them, you just always feel that sense of like familiarity, that sense of like, wow, we've been through a good experience together, So it's lovely stuff, man. Lovely stuff. That's my life. So settled in reasonably. Right now, I'm very happy. I'm good.
After a bit of a harsh start, but it's mad because, as I said, like I think mine and your school were less than a mile apart. We were at war. We were less than a mile apart, which was mad. And our schools were equally as bad, but yours was just a different level type of bad. Like I didn't
realize you guys were that bad. you had a lot of people leaving and you know, getting really good grades. So I didn't realize that Salesian was that bad at the time.
When we got in, it was bad. But again, you know, myself, Jure, Henry, Jason, like we were part of the crop that weren't so mash up. Like there's still some people in our classes who are just mash up. But I mean, check this. I went to I was going for my university interview. I just come out. One of the guys that was in the same class as me was coming out of an ultrasound room because I had to do my interview in a hospital, and his missus was on his second baby. Hold on, I'm 18 years old. You're on your second child.
Oh wow,
mate. When we was in Salesian,
I'm sorry.
When I was in year 7,
no, his life has been different. Jeez. I can't imagine having 2 before 18.
That was my school. Like it was mad. The school was mad, and it's funny. Neither of our schools exist in the same light today. Can you believe this? It's not surprising. Salesian College does not exist.
Yeah, it's crazy. One of the funny thing is, mate, is when I was in Jamaica, like I've never ever been like summoned by someone to be like, hey, like I want to fight you after school or anything like that. It's just madness. Like it's just strange. But
you meeting me in this pen after school. It's 3:35. If you're there, you're a pussy. If you're not there, you're a pussy. It's crazy.
I remember like this dude. I don't know. He probably thought I don't know, talking to his girl or something like that. And then he was just like. Actually, this guy's Jamaican as well, but he's probably here from he's like 4 or 5 years old. And maybe he's just got this crazy mentality. But I was in maths class, and he was just like, he's behind me, he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up outside of school later on, mate. Like, I'm like, well, wait, do you think I'm actually gonna wait outside of school for you to like, this is how I am, right? I don't want to like get into a fight because I'll probably go too far. So I didn't even want to get involved in that sort of stuff. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna just walk. I just make sure I get out of school way after he said he was gonna fight me, and because he's like giving me time and place. I'm like, don't be silly, bro. I'm not gonna get in any sort of fight. You know,
I had something similar that, and it was shocking as well because I was just looking at stuff like, what's wrong with these people? Like what going for these? Like seriously, like what's wrong with these? Like some dunny just rocked up outside school because he was an older boy that was dating one of the girls in my year, and like he decided to come flex his chest, and I was just like, oh. So I dipped because I'm thinking I understood the gravity of fighting and busting a man's nose back then. I obviously I come from. Bruv, these people haven't seen violence. Trust me, they haven't seen violence. Like you live in the Caribbean, you will see violence. Believe me. So I was like,
I've seen fights. Sorry, sorry.
No, that's right. Like I said, you know what? I'm just gonna dip. I'm gonna go the other way. This brother followed me, bruv. Somehow someone must have tipped him off. Then I bucked him on the road. I was like, oh, bro, I don't want to do this, man. Like, let's not. Anyway, I ended up dumping him in front of his girlfriend, which is, you know what I mean? It wasn't really a good look for him, but it's just one of them things that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do that. Like, I tried to, you know what I mean? I tried to escape it. Like, obviously everyone, I was like, look, you know, it's cool for you lot, because if I while out and I end this guy, what would happen? I'm thinking about my future here. I want to keep it moving, because you not think it's just a fight, you walk away. Where I was coming from, fights could end differently. Like, it was real talk, bro. Like, people don't fight. People are looking to hurt you. So I was like, I had that similar mentality as well. So I was like, look, I'm not going to get to that level of violence. I'm going to leave it. But the guy, I couldn't get out of his way. Mate, I tried my best to get out of it. I couldn't get out of his way. So it was just one of them ones where it's just inevitable. Like, it had to go down. I didn't have a choice.
Sometimes, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I've seen some stuff. I remember, like I said, the people when I went to high school, I was probably about 10 years old. So the first time I went to high school, the sixth formers, I remember like there was a bunch of sixth formers that were fighting. But these guys that dress, I mean, they dress immaculately. We just have to anyway, because and the white shirt with like this this beautiful tie, and like, you know, they're sharp. Everything's iron and crisp. But then, you know, and they're fighting afterwards. But then I remember seeing a couple of guys. I'm not sure how it started, whatever it is. But of course, you've got rocks available freely. Like that. That's and I remember them fighting, and one of the guys just took up a rock. And when I was and said it, I'm talking about this rock. It's not like a smooth rock.
They're jagged.
It's textured, yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, he bust that dude's face so badly. And everyone in Jamaica, I just remember this. Most school kids at the time, and if anyone said this, I'm not lying. Everyone walked with a ratchet knife. Ratchet knife being one of those knife flip open knives. Yeah. So everyone, I mean, even I had one at 10 years old. So like, you just have it just because, you know, it's not like you wanted to do anything with it, but some people use it primarily to cut the weed. You know, if they're going to smoke weed and things like that, that's what you use for. And then, or if you want to cut someone else, or just for bravado, you know, just have it there as a show. But mostly you'll have it. You can't really have that in front of the teachers because you'll have problems. But yeah, generally, yeah, people walk around with the ratchet. Even now, I mean, it's just a standard thing. You walk around with the ratchet knife. I mean, so I never personally. I like church. Yeah, I enjoyed my life. I respected my mom, so I never really wanted to get into any fights, man. So, you know,
yeah,
and plus, you don't want to get deported, like, you know, at 14 years old, like, you know, you want to get into any fights.
Get dashed for no reason.
I think what's very interesting though, what I've learned is that first of all, that guy didn't like you, but it shows the process at which probably like they might place young black men, because no word of a lie, he knew how bad that school was, and if he even took 2 seconds to actually look at your grades, he probably would have put you somewhere else. He probably would have taken you straight to ADT, for example.
Yeah, I mean, I would love that.
Completely different, and it's not like there was some bad school around Wandsworth and Battersea. There were some real good schools there.
Really good schools, yeah.
Real good schools. So it's just a case of just like, come on, take the time to think. But I think that shows a degree of, I'm going to take it there, systemic racism or plotted racism, because that should not happen, bro. That should not run at all. A school, it's not ignorance.
Lack of care. The beauty of care is not there. I think that was it. Maybe that person wasn't good. I'm sure. Maybe if there was someone else. So, you know, in that particular environment, maybe if there was someone else, they would have recommended something different.
Okay, fine. Put it this way: you could have come to Salesian College. Yeah, Salesian College. There was a lot of Jamaicans. There was a lot of Ghanaians and Nigerians too. It was predominantly black. You could have come there where it wasn't so bad. Why did man shaft you there, bruv?
I have no idea, man.
Telling you, bruv, he
did outstanding recommendations from my teachers as well. It was crazy.
Nah, I'm telling you, like stuff like that. But that to me, that kind of stuff probably happens all the time.
Yeah, it's real.
Just don't know it. And what happens is that, honestly, and I say the same for myself, we were in 2 schools where we could easily both not be sitting here. Very easily not be sitting here. And like you said, like I kind of, in hindsight, owe a lot more than I probably give credit to cadets for a path that I funny enough, I don't follow that path, but there's a lot of things that I do which kind of are carried over from them. But it's just crazy to see, like, and hear from you what happened to you, and it just ticked in my mind how many others has happened to. And then it dips into what Akala used to say about how African students and Caribbean students are incredibly intelligent. We come here probably most of the time of a higher IQ than our relative counterparts in this country, because we're taught to different degrees. In maths, these guys are only learning algebra in year 8, let's say.
Yeah.
We're in year 4, year 5 learning algebra, bro. We are 4 years.
Gone clear. That's one of the things I noticed when I came is. Oh, sorry, go on.
What's happening with the regression is the question. Like, why is all of this stuff happening? Again, this is always a conversation for another time, because it's such a big conversation to have. But it's just interesting you said that, and it's just put that kind of seed in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I don't know. It could have been a different person. It would have been a different outcome, or it could have been it's just policy based on maybe that school was undersubscribed, and that's so they could have made a decision based on different things. But from my perspective, I saw it, huh?
You're a kind guy. Why the hell do you think it was undersubscribed, bruv?
I don't know, but I'm just saying from my perspective, at the time looking at him, he's just like, hey, this is the school that you go to. It's not like, hey, let's do an evaluation based on these factors, and then let's decide which one would be the best. It didn't quite go like that. But obviously in his mind, he probably done a calculation and knew that, hey, actually maybe the school didn't have they had capacity to take more people on, or maybe the principal was willing to take me on and work with us, or whatever it was. But from my perspective, I just saw it as it's just a straight decision to go to that particular school because there was people that I could relate to, i.e. from Jamaica. And it turns out, you know what? Some of my good friends are from the school, and actually a lot of the people who succeeded, who are excellent. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people who I know who's done really well from the school, or mostly girls, I have to say. But I mean, mind you, the majority were that passed got a 5-8 season as well, and mostly Jamaicans as well. Partly because that made up the larger demographic of the school. So, but yeah, it was an interesting thing.
Very interesting.
But there we go.
In saying that, I'm going to shoot for the stars. I'm going to try and see if I can get a caller on this show and see what we can deduce. That'll be a very interesting conversation. I think
he's a Camden local, man. You might as well try a thing.
You might as well hold at the man the minute. Yeah, me. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, it's just overall, mate. Like we are where we are, and we can only forge our own paths, right? So, unfortunately, I've met some incredible people, worked at some amazing institutions, and that's helped shape who I am today.
Exactly. That's all that matters. To be honest, it's the lessons you take and you learn and you carry forward.
This is one of the you should definitely explore, or certainly explore the role of things like youth clubs in the society, because had it not been things like Urban Voice, I wouldn't have expanded my knowledge on like music, for example. You see what I mean? That gave me good all around. If I really wanted to go into the music industry, it was a good first step into accessing that career path, if you like, outside of school. So
feel you through. Anyways, guys, it's been again another wonderfully insightful conversation. What's it called? Everybody, I'm gonna put everything across the bottom in a second. Follow Dane on the gram at dgram. That's his personal Instagram. Obviously the band Kill Your Kings on IG as well. KYK band official. Watch out for some stuff to come out from there. If I'm right, keep on keeping on is out on Spotify now. Is that correct?
No, we're gonna get that down on the weekend, but it's you can actually listen to it on SoundCloud.
That's it. Pardon me. So on SoundCloud, check it out. Again, for me, it's a beautiful single that you guys really need to release, and I reckon the right hands will definitely garner a lot of attention because it's a great track. Obviously, being super eclectic in their sound, just check them out and wait for what's to come from the Kill Your Kings guys. We'll be working together soon as well. Hopefully, we'll just reset another date to get you guys into the studio. Anything you guys have to say before we dip?
No, it's been really good. Good chatting to old friends and meeting you as well, Mason.
Yeah, bro. Nice to meet someone that's had a similar path.
Yeah, absolutely. So good. Good chatting, man.
And that's not incarcerated or anything like that. You know what I mean?
I'll bring the band on next time so you can actually see the full prospectus of what we are. So
I mean, our aim is to get into a space where we can get people face to face and stuff. So
yeah,
definitely when that's all ready to go and stuff, obviously then we'll talk again and get everybody in. And that's to talk to everybody and get a wider perspective of everything you guys are up to, isn't it? But Anyway, guys, as I said, everything's across the bottom. As always, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It just helps us grow. As I said, partway through the show, people might look at us and say, "Oh, you guys do hip hop and R&B and blah blah blah." Push that. No, we push music. Good music is all we want to push out to you guys. That's it. And just more good content and finding out about people who create music. All right, that's what we're about.
Great stuff, man.
Cool. So, peace and love, everybody. Have a great evening, and we are out. Till next week.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Take care.
Peace.
Learn life. There's levels to the shit.